Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to take a look at Bouffalant EX with Terapagos EX. Now, I've been seeing this Bouffalant EX card doing quite a bit of rounds on YouTube videos lately, so I thought, well, let's look at these videos, let's look at how the deck works and what builds people are going with, and what can we do to try and improve it. So obviously I've done my own take, this is completely my list. I've obviously taken a couple of inspirations from other lists. So you might see some cards that pop up that you might see from other videos. But I wanted to give this deck list a try. It's been quite interesting to tinker around with it and work with it. But we'll get into that as per usual. So in the description below, as per usual, there's going to be the timestamp to the description or the deck list. The two games we're going to try and play. If there is a third because of an early concession, that will be there as well. And also the outro and what I thought of the deck. So the main, shall we say, star of the deck is Bouffalant EX. Now, Gen 5 was a interesting generation. I think it was a pretty good generation. Obviously, I'm a Hoenn boy, as some of you may know. So Gen 5 was after Diamond and Pearl, which I played as well. And Bouffalant you don't actually get till quite late in the game. So I don't really have an opinion on Bouffalant as a Pokemon. But as a card, this one's quite lackluster. The ability though is pretty alright, with its ability being Bouffer, so we take 30 less damage from attacks after applying weakness and resistance. Then we have the attack Gold Breaker, which is 3 colourless, so we are playing different types of energy cards in here. If your opponent attacks Pokemon as a Pokemon EX, this attack does 100 more damage. Now, important thing to note, we are playing the Curly Wall Bouffalant. So it specifies one other Bouffalant. Now that doesn't include the EX. As you'll see when we go to the deck list, there are a couple of other non-EX Bouffalant you can play, but I don't recommend them. Just play 3 of these and you'll be fine. But these let us take 60 less damage from attacks after applying weakness and resistance. So what that means is Bouffalant EX straight away with no other modifications, such as Bravery Charm or Hero's Cape, is sitting at 310 base HP, which is crazy. But we've still obviously got other attackers to cover. Obviously, we have free Latias for free retreat. We have Cornerstone Ogerpon as an option as well. And we can, of course, attack with this guy because we do play a couple of fighting energy. But we're playing double Munkidori. We've obviously been, well, I've been trialing it with one, and it's good. But I think a second Munkidori just makes more sense than you might think. Then, of course, I'm playing a Noctowl engine in here. Because we're not just playing the Cornerstone. You might have noticed we only play one Cornerstone. We're not just playing the Cornerstone, we do play a couple of Terapagos. And the Terapagos is also a very good attacker and obviously works with the Bouffalants as well. So that was the thought process behind it. But anyway, let's get into the deck list and let's have a look at it. And welcome to the deck list. So as you can see on the right hand side, I've already loaded this up in case any of you was curious. There is a couple of other Bouffalants you can play. This one has the Bouffer ability as well, it's only -20 though. And then there's this Ready to Ram one, which can put 6 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon when it's attacked. It also does 40 damage, but these Bouffalants aren't really worth playing. I would just stick to 3 Curly Walls and then the 2 EX like we are playing. So we are playing a 3-3 Noctowl line to have extra search, and also it lets us find our Crispins, our Turo, Penny, etc. And even Kieran, where we need to buff Bouffalant EX's damage. Same with Terapagos. 3 Bouffalant with the Curly Wall ability. As I said, you need 2 of these down. The EX doesn't work with this. 2 Bouffalant EX as our extra attackers. 2 Terapagos EX. I figured this would be a no-brainer, and I've sort of built this list like the old Tank Terapagos list. But I've also included, obviously, the Bouffalants, everything, or the Bouffalant EX. Now, I have had to cut down to a 3-3 Hoothoot Noctowl. You could probably squeeze a 4-4 in here, but I wanted the extra dark energy in here, to be brutally honest. I was really originally running 3, and because I put in the second Munkidori, I wanted 4. So, hence my decision-making there. 2 Fan Rotom to obviously get our Hoothoots, Noctowls, and Bouffalants in the first turn. Could also grab Ditto as well. 2 Munkidoris, 1 Latias, 1 Fezandipiti, 1 Ditto, which of course can turn into anything, so we likely turn it into a Terra. Bloodmoon Ursaluna for late game, just like the old Tank Terapagos list. A MEW EX for a little bit of extra type coverage and also draw. We have Cornerstone Ogerpon as an extra Terra type, but also a wall against stuff like Oldengo. And then of course we have Lillie's Clefairy EX as an extra attacker into the Dragapult matchup. And of course we play basic Psychic Energy anyway, so it was a no-brainer. Then of course, because we're playing a Noctowl Hoothoot engine, we don't really need to run 4 of our supporters, so I don't bother. There is something you could put in here, and that is a PAL pad. I've not found a room for it, to be brutally honest with you. And I don't think I'll ever find a room for it, because this list is quite tight. 3 Crispin, 2 Iono, 1 Boss, 1 Research, 1 Turo, 1 Penny, 1 Kieran. Kieran obviously lets us have a switch out, so that's why we're not playing a basic switch. And it also lets us do 30 damage to our opponent's active Pokemon EX, which also works with Bouffalant, so we can do 230. 4 Nest Ball, 3 Ultra Ball, 1 Energy Switch, so we can combo with Glass Trumpet, which attaches a basic energy from our discard pile onto our colourless Pokemon. So obviously it won't go onto Munkidori, Latias, Mew, or Fez. Same with Cornerstone and Clefairy. But the fact is we can use the Glass Trumpet and Energy Switch combo, so we can put an energy on the attacker we want to use, and then energy switch the other card, or the other energy card, to the attacker we want to use. So that's sort of where the combo comes in from that. Then of course 1 Night Stretcher, 1 Earthen Vessel, 1 Counter Catcher, 1 copy of Buddy Poffin to get our Hootoots and Fans. Can also search as Ditto as well, but this is arguably a card you could cut, but I'm going to play it safe and keep 1 copy. 1 copy of Hero Cape, 1 copy of Bravery Charm to obviously boost damage, health. Obviously, Hero's Cape can take Bouffalant EX to 410 HP base. Terapagos, if he has these Curly Walls in play, he could be 390, so he's just as tanky. So that's sort of the idea there. Then 2 copies of Area Zero, because your bench does get quite cluttered. 4 Darkness Energy to obviously give the monkeys some versatility, but also just to give us more energy to work with. 3 copies of Basic Psychic Energy for both the Munkidoris, the Clefairy, and everyone else. And then 2 copies of Fighting Energy for the Cornerstone Ogerpon, and of course everyone else, because a lot of our attackers have colourless attack class. So yeah, it doesn't hugely matter what energy type you're playing, as long as you're playing a energy type. And like I say, Cornerstone can help us out against some matchups. So that was my thought process there. I just thought, well, Cornerstone is a no-brainer. Monkey's a no-brainer, so I want to play 2 of. And then Psychic Energy, we can play Clefairy for a Dragapult matchup. And obviously Munkidori can help out in that matchup as well. So I hope you think the list is decent. Obviously, it's my first time really working with Bouffalant EX. I'm just going to say this right now before we go into the games. I don't think this is the card we should be running in decks. Obviously, it's a new card. Everyone wants to play it. But personally, I would just throw in a 3rd copy of Terapagos. And then add a 2nd copy of Bravery Charm and just play Tank Terapagos. Rather than do this, it just seems a bit more of a mucking around is the best way I can describe it. But the fact is, this is still something we want to play with, and obviously you can play with it if you want. So here's a list you can play with. Otherwise, I think I'd just play 3 Terapagos and then 2 Bravery Charm. That's my decision anyway. But anyway, let's get into some games and see how we do. Welcome to the first match. I had to quickly go answer the bloody door first, but yeah, it's all good, like I say. Looking forward to playing this deck and just seeing how it does. It's going to be an interesting one, but yeah, let's see what happens. And it's a battle of the Joes. And I suspect Grimmsnarl, which, how's that going to be for a matchup? It should be okay, because if we play double Monkey, and obviously our Terapagos can tank quite a few hits, I'm going to go first. You could argue a Squawk in this list would be pretty good, but yeah, kind of defeats the purpose of being tanky if they've got easy 2 prizes to go for. Okay, that's fine with me. We will start the... We'll start the Terapagos. That's fine with me. And Ursaluna start. That's not good for them. If it is, of course, a certain someone. So we'll just bench 2 Hootoots, a Bouffalant, and pass. I'm happy with that. We don't need to put down a Clefairy, because obviously we don't necessarily need to tell them what we're obviously playing. So it's not something that, you know, we need to like reveal. Like, I'd rather reveal the 2 Hootoots and the Bouffalant, because obviously Bouffalant has been seeing a lot of play, surprisingly, on videos lately. So yeah, that's my thought process. So there's an open vessel. So if it's Marnie's Grimmsnarl, they don't typically play a bear. So I wonder why there's a bear there. I don't know. We'll soon find out, I guess. Counter catcher. If it's double dark energy, it's highly likely. Yeah, I think this is Grimmsnarl. So the debate is, do we go for a Crispin, bench the Clefairy, and attack the Ursaluna? I think we do. Because they've gone second and their hand's pretty dead. So I think I'm just going to go Crispin. Grab 2 energy. Doesn't matter which energy goes into the hand. So this way we're doing 120 damage. And then if we need to kill the bear next turn because they've bricked, we can just bench our bear. I'd rather not help them out. I'd rather watch them brick, basically. And obviously I'm not going to be... If they pass their turn, I'm not going to BM. I'm just going to bench the bear and then swing. I'm not going to BM. I'm not like that. I mean, I'd love to know what they're playing a bear. I mean, I see the reasoning in a Grimmsnarl list, but I don't think it's necessary myself. Okay, there's an Iron Bundle. And I'm going to use the Hyper Blower, that's fine. There's a Tatsugiri. There's another Dark Energy. And that's a pass. Okay, that's fine with me, Chief. There's an Ultra Ball, so we'll do that instead. Because then we can grab a Noctowl, but evolve the bench one, so then we can get Latias if we want. Because we don't need to get Crispin. We just need Area 0. Oh, never mind, that's a concession. I think the opponent knew what was coming there. I was just going to grab Nest Ball and Area 0. Nest Ball for the Latias. And then free retreat into the Terapagos and then Iono. So then we can obviously disrupt their hand. Which, to be fair, you don't have to Iono in that situation. I'd probably grab Research, but still. Quite an easy game. Let's go to game 2. And welcome back. That was a very quick game, that's for sure. They really bricked. I mean, starting a bear is rough anyway, but yeah, that's not great for them. Flip the coin and we don't get the tails, that is fine with me. Let's see what they pick. Because like I said, I don't mind going first with this list. I've kind of built it to go first, to be honest. But it can go second and obviously swing with... well, Terapagos can't attack on its first turn going second. Which is one of the problems with running Terapagos. But obviously we can play things like... if we can find our Glass Trumpet, we can obviously do a turn 1 attack with Bouffalant, but it's quite tricky to do. Okay, Fan Rotom start. I will take that. Means we can get a Dark Energy on it, retreat into a Ditto, and then, if our Ditto is not prized, that is, and then we can put a Terapagos or Cornerstone, depending on our matchup, which I suspect Charizard. Cornerstone's pretty good into the Charizard matchup. Okay, what the hell are you doing in here? Okay, well, I'm not going to question the Reshiram because it's a gorgeous card. I think we'll do that. Bench you, attach Darkness Energy, retreat into the Ditto, transformative start. And we will grab a turtle. Now our Noctowl's online. Nice easy turn. Obviously we can go we can go Noctowl for Glass Trumpet, because obviously we have Energy Switch in hand. So we can use that, then Crispin. So we have a little bit more opportunities there. Okay, it's Dragapult Charizard, but it's playing a Reshi? That doesn't make any sense, but okay. Iono sucks here, because obviously we had 2 Noctowl Hootoots in hand. Not Hootoots. 2 Noctowls in hand, which kind of sucks, but we can deal with that. There's another Dreepy. Energy, retreat into the Bidoof. No, he's Evo in. That's fine with me. What's he going to bring up first? Evolve to Charmeleon. And evolve to Dracloak. Okay. I don't get why this is in here. This is quite hard to charge up. Especially in the late game. It would be quite tricky. So we'll bench a Munkidori. we will then Ultra Ball one of the Bouffalant EXs, and we'll get rid of the Penny. We'll grab ourselves a Noct. That's fine. Evolve to Noctowl, and use our Jewel Seeker. So, we have the Dark Energy in there already, but I don't think it's worth grabbing this. I think, personally, judging by the hand, we should go Area 0, and then take a Crispin. Because then we can have a Hoothoot for next turn, so I think that's fine. So we'll do that. Bench you. Obviously, we don't have 2, which is kind of annoying, but that's okay. We can bench you as well. Play Crispin. Grab a Psychic. And we'll fit a Fighting, because I don't think Cornerstone's going to be good in this matchup. Do that. Do that. And then Unify Beatdown for 180. Quite a simple game plan there, but obviously Charizard needs its Defiance Band to do anything here, and there's a Noctowl. Excellent. That gets us what we need. So we're out of Charizard range at the minute, which is good. But obviously that could change if they play Defiance Band. So let's see what we can do here. So yeah, having that Dark Energy is actually good for Munkidori as well, because obviously we can just Night Stretcher it back. So we have options here. We definitely have options. There's a Dracloak draw, that's fine. Have they seriously whiffed the Charizard? Would you not promote the Badoo? Oh no, they haven't whiffed the Charizard, that's fine. Okay, 1 Fire Energy accounted for, so they're playing at least 5. Most lists are, and obviously you're going to be playing energy for the pull as well. I doubt we'll see a Defiance Band, but you never know these days. Let's see. Because what I'm thinking is, if we can, he hits us for 210. There's an Arven. This could be the Defiance Band, but I very much doubt it. But I could be proven wrong. I'm happy to be proven wrong. No, it's an Air Balloon. Okay. That is fine. That was a Body Poppin', wasn't it? Yeah. Oh no, Earthen Vessel. There's Air Balloon, so it gives him free retreat. That is fine. So what we can do is we can Noctowl for research, because obviously we don't need to disrupt this hand at the minute. There's Burning Darkness 210. That's fine. Well, there's our Night Stretcher, so we'll take that. We can put that on the monkey. And then we can Adrenaline Brain 3 off to Terapagos, take out the Badoo and go on to even prizes. That's the first thing I'm going to do. So we'll take a prize card for that. And there's Kieran, that's really good. We can actually go for another 2 prizes here, but I think that's greedy. What I'd rather do is we could get a Nest Ball for another Terapagos. Because obviously we need follow-up play after this, which could be a thing. Bravery Charm doesn't save us from anything. So, my thought process is we start readying up a Bouffalant EX. So I think we grab Crispin and we grab a Nest Ball, I think. No, I think we grab Vessel. So there's Crispin. So we can do that. But a Psychic... In fact, Psychic Energy on the Munkidori could also be a difference, but I think for now we'll just do that. Then we can just swing with this, which would be fine. Yeah, 180. Bouffalant then comes in and does 200. Yeah, I think that's okay. I think that's honestly okay. So yeah, we'll swing for the 180. And hit the Charizard. Like I said, we could always bring up the Munkidori as well and confuse this, so I'm not hugely worried. I did have another option of bossing the Fez. Like, benching something, like using Nest Ball to get something else and then boss the Fez, but I think that's not the right move. But we'll soon find out. There's Terror Orb. I'm glad they're playing one of those. There's the Dragapult. So are they playing Basic Psychic or are they playing Luminous? Let's see. They are playing Basic Psychic. Okay, that's fine. Let's see then. Because if they attack with a Pult, that's fine. That actually helps us. Prime Catcher? Okay, very interesting. Taking out the Monkey. Okay, that is annoying. Taking out the Monkey here is pretty bad for us, because he takes out Terapagos and the Monkey. That's pretty bad. We can always sit behind Bouffalant for a turn, but I don't think that's going to matter too much. Obviously, his 30 resistance anyway does help us out, but obviously that is a pretty nasty 3-price turn for our opponent. So, I'm going to promote the Fan. So we can always Kieran switch if we have to. There's a Terapagos, but that doesn't help us right now. We could swing with Fan Rotom and do 100. But, like, we need energy on this Terapagos, so I'd rather value using the Terapagos and doing that. See, this is an issue with this deck. It can dead draw quite a bit, even with the engine that I've got. So I'm going to attach to the Bouffalant and pass. Because if he takes out the Fan Rotom, I'm not bothered. It's the fact that he can obviously do damage to our Bouf, which is a concern. And obviously I don't have a second wall, curly wall. This could get dicey. This could get very dicey. If he just Phantom Dives, that's good. There's another 3P. See, we have our prize map right here. That's the annoying thing. We have our prize map, but we've just been dead drawing. So it's not looking good. There's a boss. I'm hoping it's not for the Bouf. If it is, we'll have to deal with it. No, it's for Terapagos. That's bad. We have to Kieran here. But that's okay. Energy onto Charmander. And Phantom Dive for 200. Probably put one on the Fan and then start setting up the other boys for damage is what I would do. This is not looking good for us. Yeah, 4 on the Fan. Yeah, he's pretty much got us dead to rights here. Even if we put the Bouf up. So yeah, I'm going to concede. Let's go to a game 3. And welcome to game 3. That's one of the many issues with this deck. Obviously, if you are playing a Terapagos version like me, you have some of that bases covered anyway. But the Bouf and obviously the deck itself can just be quite bricky. But yeah, we obviously didn't find our Mew. Like, we couldn't get our Mew down, and even if we did, it's an easy 2-prizer for Dragapult. So a Dragapult Charizard deck is probably your worst matchup, because obviously Dragapult can then weaken your boys, and then Charizard can come into the late game, even with all your damage boost, well, health boosting tools and stuff like that. So it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. I recognize that username. Hold on. I'm fairly certain I recognize that username. Give me a moment whilst the match loads. I'm fairly certain I've seen that username before. No, different person. I thought it was a YouTuber that we're facing, but no, it's fine. So it's Body Puffin for you two. Ditto's prize, but that's fine. We've got a Terapagos. So, Fan Call. Let's do that. We'll grab a Bouf, a Hoot, and a Noct. So, I'm going to prioritize the Hoot first. Then we Nest Ball. Because I want my Latias down for free retreat. And I think, gentlemen, that is it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I should say, because obviously we do have Pokemon players that are female. There's not many, to be honest, like, compared to what you might think, you know, like, when it comes to my local area anyway, there's not many female players. I'd love to see, like, more female players just playing in general, because, like, I know it's like the Yu-Gi-Oh situation. I've seen a lot of it on YouTube lately. A lot of female players don't feel confident playing in person, which is kind of sad when you think about it. Looks like we're playing against Guardy. That should be okay. Obviously, Bouffa makes it so that that Frelish does actually no damage. But that's fine. We can obviously Nest Ball for our Munkidori shortly. Once we Noctowl for a thingy anyway. Okay. There's another Terapagos. Lovely jubbly. So let's do that. Jewel Seeker. We'll take Crispin and Area 0. Area 0. Nest Ball. Grab a monkey. Obviously we've got one in the prizes to consider. That is fine. We could put that to second Terapagos, but I don't think we need to. So that's free retreat. Do we do single prize attack with the Fan Rotom? I think we do. It's probably the smartest move. Especially in this matchup. So we can Crispin. We've got a fighting energy in the prizes. That is fine. We'll put Dark in hand. Put the Psychic on the Fan. I think I want to keep the Dark energy around, but I want to attach it to Terapagos, so I think that's fine. And then Assault Landing for 70 damage, take out the Clefairy. That is fine with me. If they come up with that stupid jellyfish, we can deal with it. Let's see what happens. So I think the jellyfish does 80 damage, like base, and then if it has, I think, 2 more in addition to the energy cost, it does another 80, I believe. So it's okay. We can obviously deal with that. Because we can go Turo up the Noctowl and then get ourselves a Earthen Vessel. Even if they go for Oceanic Gloom, I'm not too worried. Let's see what we can do. Maybe they've put the Frelish up because obviously it's a bit of a tank compared to the other Pokemon. Guardy's going to be an interesting matchup though. There's the Jelly. There's the Jellyfish. That's fine. Attaching an energy. And yeah, they're Evoing. That's fine. We can deal with the Jellyfish. I'm not hugely worried about the Jellyfish. Okay. So we can't play items or tools. Could be an issue later down the line, but I can deal with that. Glass Trumpet, that doesn't help us. So what I'm thinking here is, because obviously we can knock out this Jellicent, but we need an energy to do it. So what I'm thinking is, because we could kill it with Kieran. That's the thing, we could kill it with Kieran, but we need to find an energy, and we can only do that by playing Iono. So, I'm just going to play Iono. We can get the Kieran back to finish this off later, and obviously we have Munkidori. There's a Psychic Energy, good. We'll bench another Bouf. Retreat into the Terapagos. Attach a Psychic Energy, and Unify Beatdown. Obviously, we are very tanky at this point, so we're at 290 HP. If he attacks with the Munkidori, well, if he attacks with the Jellicent, we can just deal with it with the Munkidori. So it's not a major deal here. Let's see what he can do. Obviously, if he bumps our Stadium, that's fine, because we can get rid of Noctowl, we can get rid of Fan Rotom, we can get rid of Latias as well, and just restrict the Pokemon. Well, in fact, no, we'd get rid of Bouffalant, realistically. I've realised that throughout this video we've not even attacked with Bouffalant once, but like I said, it's not really an attacker you're going to be using all the time. It's just something like, you know, it's not an attacker that you typically use early on. That's why I'm playing Terapagos. But still. There's Munkidori. So now Munkidori can start doing some shenanigans. That's fine with me, Chief. Where are you going to put that 30? Let's find out. To get on the Terapagos. Okay, that's fine. That's your attack for turn, though. And if you attack with the jellyfish, I'm not... Well, you don't knock out this Terapagos. Far from it. See, with Power Press, it only does 160. You basically bumped it to 190, so you're basically acting like you're swinging with a Guardi. And if you put on just one energy, you only do 80. Minus 60, so it does 20. And if we find a Dark Energy, we basically just eliminate his turn. He could retreat, though. He could very much retreat. Let's see what he does. Ultra Ball. Get him with an Evo and a Psychic Energy. What's his plan here? Because there's not... Okay, Scream Tail. Yeah. I see the line. Retreat the Jellyfish. Go into the Scream Tail. Okay. If I remember rightly, Bouffalant does still work on the bench. I could be wrong, but if memory serves, that is how it works. So there's that. He could snipe the monkey, which would be okay. We can deal with that. So that takes it to 160. So what's he sniping? If he snipes the monkey, that's fine. No, he's going for the Hoothoot. Okay. That is also fine. So I can just Night Stretch that back. I would love a Dark Energy off the top, and that is beautiful. Excellent. So we will do that straight away. Adrenabrain off the Terapagos. I'm only going to move one, though, because then we can keep it open for the Jellyfish later. So that takes out him. He's probably going to promote his Guardi, but that's fine. Or he could feed me his monkey. I'm not really fussed. Okay, it's the Guardi, that's fine. So then we can Night Stretch back the Hoothoot. Do that. And we just swing for 240. Not a bad start there, that's for sure. So this means we can move the 2 damage off the Terapagos, finish off the Jellyfish, and Gardevoir now can't heal itself. He has to choose whether to save his Gardevoir from my Terapagos or to save the Jellyfish from a Munkidori swing, or Munkidori ping. As an old tennis, or as my old tennis teacher at secondary school would say, the ball's in your court and it's your time to serve, mate. So let's see what you can do. Let's see what happens. There's a research. Let's see what we can do. So there's a Vessel. Get rid of a Psychic. Psychic and a Dark. That's fine. There's another monkey. Not a major issue. If he does take 2 prizes this turn, we have Counter Catcher to deal with the Gardevoir, so we can take that out. How many Super Rod is he down? He's down 1 Rod. He's not played a Stretcher. Looks like he's making moves on the Fan to try and eliminate the single prize threat. Which is odd, because you would think he'd go for the Hoothoot. But I digress. I don't know what this guy's doing. I'd take out the Hoot, or I'd start setting up damage on the Hoothoot. Psychic Embrace. So now, if he puts too much on that, he's in Munkidori range. He's attacking with the monkey. Probably his best move here. But he's kind of screwed himself here. Because we have Latias in play, whilst we take no damage from that, we can just free retreat. So he's kind of buggered up here, to put it politely. So, let's grab ourselves a Noct. Do that. Jewel Seeker. So I'm going to grab the Hero's Cape at this point, and I'm going to grab a Crispin. I think that's the two I want. Yeah, I think that's the two I want. So we'll Crispin, grab a Darkness Energy and a Fighting Energy, because again, we don't need Cornerstone in this matchup. I'm going to keep the Dark in hand, and I'm going to put this energy on the Bouf. We can then Hero's Cape the Hero's Cape the Bouf. Then we Adrenabrain 3 off the Fan. Pop it here. Because we can't kill the jellyfish, but that's okay. We retreat into the Fan Rotom. Do I attach for turn here? I think I do. And then Assault Landing, take a prize. Takes out a Dark Energy out of circulation and a Psychic. Which, yeah, you can just get it back. That's fine. There's Ditto, which is entirely useless. So this is turning out to be a really good game so far with Gardevoir. Obviously, he can just go Munkidori Swing, which would be fine, because we just bring up the Bouf. I'm surprised he's not targeting down Latias, because obviously that's a lot of our free pivot. There's an Ultra Ball. Does he have a third monkey, which would not surprise me in the slightest? No, Screamtail. So what is he targeting with that Screamtail? Iono, that's fine. Iono to 3. Losing our Fez sucks, but if we get an Ultra Ball or a Nest, and Speak of the Devil, we can just grab that, so that's not an issue. Psychic Embrace. Probably going to go for the Screamtail again. Could also attack with a Monkey, but I think going Screamtail is arguably better. Yeah, it is. Here he is. He's doing it. So obviously, with his bench being full, his Munkidori isn't really doing a lot for him here. But the Screamtail's doing a lot, so I think he's going to go for my Monkey. Because my Monkey would finish off that Screamtail. So let's see what he does. So he's going to retreat the Psychic Energy, so he can still Munkidori Math. Let's see what he does here, because I know what I'd take out. The Monkey on my bench would be the immediate priority. That's not enough. You are 10 short, and unless you're going for a meme slap, which would be funny. He's probably going to take out my Monkey, which would be the best move. No! You're going for a Bouf. Do you know how badly you've just buggered up? This has got to be, like... I promise you this is not a paid actor. Okay. Ultra Ball, you, and you. Grab my Fez, so we have some extra draw. Fez for 3. Okay, that doesn't get us what we need, but it gets us enough. So, I'm going to heal with my Monkey. Take you out. He has to give me Fez here in order to survive. He has to give me Fez. If he doesn't give me the Fez, he basically coughs up his only Munkidori or a backup Gardevoir. And I know what I'd be coughing up. I'd be giving the Fez because I can't hit 240. Well, I can't hit 260 right now. Let's see what he does. Very interesting to see Jellyfish Gardevoir, that's for sure. I didn't think this matchup would be too bad, to be fair. He could bring up the Jellyfish. Yeah, he's done the right thing. He's given me Fez. So, we're going to Bravery Charm our Terapagos, so we have a bit more bulk. I'm going to attach a Fighting Energy for turn to the Bouffalant. I think, realistically, I'd just swing with the Terapagos. But, for content purposes, we are swinging with the Bouf. Obviously, right now, Curly Wall is offline, so we're only at 350 HP. But that's well outside of the Gardevoir range. He's playing a very dangerous game here, though. Because if I find second monkey plus dark energy, he's basically buggered. He's going for my Fez. Okay. Bump the stadium, that is fine. We can get rid of Noctowl, and we're actually going to get rid of Fan. Reason for getting rid of Fan is it gives us another option for energy recovery, so we can play our Glass Trumpet, because we've not played it yet. Plus, it means he doesn't have as much damage on board to work with. I'm happy to still keep the Bouffalant around, though, in case we obviously can find another one. Because we can recover those in the discard pile. And obviously we still have Monkey Mouth to help us out. But he has to attack the 2-prizer here. There's no option. He can attack with Munkidori, but then we just Munkidori Math off, hit his Jellyfish, and then we just Bouf. So I'm not hugely worried. I think this is pretty much curtains for my opponent, but in typical God of War fashion, they're slow playing like a trooper. There's Devo, that's fine. You're down to 1 card in deck, my friend. I've still got 20, so I'm in the driver's seat right here, and there's the concession. Absolutely nothing God of War can do against this deck. Really interesting to see that. I suppose if you're having trouble with God of War, you just play double Munkidori, and you are pretty much golden. So yeah, there we go. That is Terapagos with Bouffalant EX. I think, so we're now obviously in the outro a bit where I'm going to talk about the deck a little bit, and how I felt. I think it's a deck that can definitely do some work. Like I said in the intro and the decklist part, personally, the Bouf just isn't worth running. The fact that it only does 200 damage for 3 energy, yes, it's more tankier than a Terapagos, but it's harder to get going compared to a Terapagos. You could play a copy of Counter Gain in here to help with that, but realistically, I don't think that's worth running. And a lot of time during that game, I should say, we was ahead on prizes, and we had opportunities to take multiple prizes. So I don't think a counter game would really fix the issue if you do want to play Bouffalant. But overall, I've really enjoyed the deck. Really enjoyed just playing it in general. Obviously, Bouffalant EX is not a card that is going to see much competitive play, if at all. But the fact that it can be put into a Terapagos tank list is a good thing. But the issue with that is Tank Terapagos kind of fell off a cliff. So it's one of those situations. Like we have the option to, you know, do the Bouffalant with Terapagos, but I don't think it's the correct move. But Bouffalant may see some use in a Terapagos Bouffalant, well, Terapagos Bouffalant list, but I just don't think it's worth doing. But that's just my take on it. As I said in the decklist part, I'd rather just play 3 Terapagos and a second Bravery Charm. That's all I'd do. The extra 30 is negligible at best in some matchups. Anyway, I'm going to leave you a tip for today. Really hope you enjoyed seeing this deck in action, and I'll see you next time.